And we're going to start in either Shavasana or constructive rest pose. So Shavasana, your legs will be up straight, letting your toes fall out to the side. In constructive rest pose, you might find a little more release through your hips and low back if you bend your knees, plant your feet. And then take your feet wide so that you can knock your knees together. And today, I think that we'll start with hands at the center of your body. So bringing one hand below your navel, one hand above your navel. And one important caveat to that is letting your elbows be down. It might be that to get your hands exactly centered, you have to use some muscle to keep your elbows up. Instead, let your elbows slide all the way down. So maybe your hands are off your center line, but you still have one near your rib cage and one near your low belly. Just feeling the breath there. And let your eyes close. And letting yourself just breathe in the way your body naturally wants to. And you'll soften the edges of your breath so that you're taking out any stutters or pauses. And so that you're seamlessly stitching together your inhale and your exhale. And take a couple moments to untangle any knots and any muscles that might still be holding on to some tension. This takes a moment of exploring through your body, noticing maybe the fronts of your shoulders, the muscles of your face, and the back of your neck. If you've ever noticed someone who's sleeping, or maybe a toddler having a tantrum, they go limp. They get heavier, they get a little more loose. I could always tell when my son fell asleep, when he was sleeping on me. Even though he would be still and quiet, just about to enter sleep, there'd be a shift, a little bit of weight. See if you can find a little bit of that. And while you're here, I have today's reading from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. Make yourself at home. Once you accept yourself unconditionally, you'll be surprised at how comfortable you begin to feel, no matter where you are. We may have tricked ourselves into thinking our security came from outside ourselves, that we needed certain other people or places, needed certain objects or items around us. We had to live our lives in a particular way to feel secure. But relying on things and people outside of ourselves provides a false sense of security. False security will be shown for what it is. There's a real security, a true safety available to all of us, no matter who we are, where we are, or what we're doing. That security comes from accepting ourselves. That security comes from trusting ourselves, trusting our hearts, our wisdom, our connection to the divine, and the universe around us. Once we accept ourselves unconditionally, no matter where we are, it will feel like home. I've been talking a lot today in my classes about meeting yourself where you are, because we have all been through so much, not just the same thing that we've all been through, but somehow things have started to come up for people this last year or two. Heavy things. And these things affect us, not just mentally and emotionally, but that affects us physically as well. And so part of unconditional love is noticing where you are, acknowledging feelings, whether they're difficult ones or light ones. Knowing that all of these things change us. And so we need to find a place where we can be with ourselves and be okay with that. Because tomorrow it might be different. We may need to find ourselves again. And again the next day. Notice the way your belly's moving underneath your two hands. Maybe a little bit more through your upper belly hand. And start to draw your breath a little bit deeper. You feel a little more movement through your lower belly hand. Noticing the timing of how one rises just before the other. Maybe one drops before the other. And then noticing maybe how much effort you might need to move your lower belly hand. You do need to pull your breath in more different. Or is it gentle and smooth? And where does the work of your body come from there? We have a lot of different muscles that help us breathe. Where do you feel stuck? Can you start to soften that area? And take 3 more deep, smooth breaths. All the way down to the bottom. And all the way empty. One more deep belly breath. And as you squeeze empty, I'm going to pull your low belly in. So that now just your upper belly hand moves. You'll feel that spread come to your rib cage. Left to right, front and back. And then take your time. We're going to slowly walk your feet in flat. If your legs are long, walk your feet to knees together. And take arms by your side. From here, let your knees drop over to the right. This gentle movement, letting your knees fall where they fall. And then slowly return to center. Feet back to the floor. And let your knees just fall to the left. No added effort into this twist. Just let gravity do the work. get to some effort soon. And come back to center, knees back to the right. Just one breath for this one, as soft as you go. Low belly stays in, take your knees back to center. And to the left, a couple of times like this. A gentle movement as you can make it. Starting to time your breath with your movement, exhaling as you drop your knees. And for one more full round. And come back to center. And take your knees in onto your chest. Take your hands just below your knees to your shin bones. Pause here for a moment. And lift your head and tuck your chin a little bit so the back of your neck is long. Then from here, using the work of your arms, pull your knees in towards your chest until you feel your hips get light. And then still using the work of your arms, let your hips come back down. Let your knees drift away until your tailbone drops towards the mat. Arms might come straight a couple of times like that. Just using your arms to pull your knees in, lengthening your low back, hips lift. And then release down. Keeping the back of your neck long as you move through your lower body. So keeping your chin gently tucked. And just your hips take this movement. And take this range of motion 2 more times. Knees in, squeeze your arms, pull your knees tight. And then hips down, tailbone towards the mat. You might find your low back lifts here. One more time, knees in, squeeze. And then hips down, feet back down, arms by your side. And toe heel your feet out to the edges of your mat. Then back to the windshield wipers, knees side to side. Again, nice and soft. When we can effort into this, we can make the sensation go up. For now, just letting your knees drop, seeing where the sensation comes naturally. Maybe you don't feel this a whole lot. Maybe you have this range of motion your body is used to, comfortable with. And I promise that's still yoga. You don't have to feel a big rise in any area of your body to be getting some work. But if you do feel something somewhere in your body, maybe your hip, your knee, your low back, someplace to explore with some interest. And come back to center. Knees back to your chest, pull your knees in. Then keep your knees in. And take your arms by your side like goalposts. So backs of your arms are down, fingertips are up towards the ceiling. Flex your feet, send your knees forward into tabletop. So knees are just over your hips. This will feel like a bit of work through your low belly. Moving into belly twisting pose. Let your knees drop to the right. This time you're squeezing your belly to lower your knees. Knees will not come all the way down for most of us. Then back to center, big pull of your belly muscles. Knees over to the left. Press into your left elbow as your knees drop. Then back to center. A couple of times like this. Exhale as you lower. Keep your shoulders anchored, back to center. Keep moving on your breath. And keep your thighs squeezing towards each other. If you find that your knees are coming apart, you might go a little less low. You might also grab a block and place it between your knees so you have something to squeeze on. And going to take one more full round, belly twisting pose. And come back to center, squeeze your knees in. And keep your right leg in, send your left leg out long on your mat. Let your heel come down. We have a couple of breaths here in wind releasing pose. Keep the back of your neck long, hug your knee in close. You'll feel a compression through the crease of your right hip. You might feel your belly pressing into your right thigh. Deep breath. One more deep breath. As you exhale, draw your left knee in. Both hands to your left knee. Inhale, right leg long. Wind relieving pose on this side is pull your knee in. Two more deep breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, take your right knee in to meet your left. And go back to those cactus arms, elbows down, hands up, and then back to tabletop with your legs. Now knees are forward over your hips. This time you'll point your toes towards the front of your mat. And draw your belly in, nice and tight. Now keep your hips just where they are. Now lower your right foot down until your toes tap the mat. And then take your right leg back up. And do the same thing on the left, lower hinging just at the crease of your hips so legs stay at 90 degrees, tap your toes. And back up. And take it again to the right, lower, tap belly muscles, pull your leg back up. Other side, left one down, tap. And if this feels deceptively hard, it is. We'll take one more time to the right. Leg back up. Last one, left toes down, tap. Back up and then squeeze your knees in. And then keep the pull of your hands into your knees. Curl your nose to your knees. Tuck your chin tight to your chest. And then lower back down. It's nice and slow. Let your head rest. Back of your neck soft. Then again, pull your hands into your legs. Peel up, nose toward your knees. Then slowly down. One more time, come up. This time, stay here. We have 3 breaths curled in super tight. You might reach your arms forward, release the grip on your legs. Just your belly muscles keeping you curled up. One more inhale. And exhale, lower down. Just for a moment to release, take a rock side to side. Let your hips massage out on the mat. We're not quite done yet. We have one more move. And come back to center. And from here, and extend your left leg forward, but this time keep it up off the mat about 45 degrees. Squeeze your left leg tight, point your toes, belly in. You're going to bring both hands to your right knee, hug it in tight. And from here, we're going to switch legs. Right leg forward, left knee in, pull your left knee towards you, squeeze your right leg. Quadricep is squeezing, bottom of your foot is working. And then switch. Left leg forward, pull your right knee in. And switch, keep the back of your neck long. Don't get too distracted by the parts that are working. Switch. 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 One more time each side. Right leg forward. Left leg forward. And then knees to your chest. Good morning, belly muscles. Take a rock side to side. Good work. From here, we're going to roll onto your side. Doesn't matter if it's left or right. We're going to come up to seated and then around to child's pose. Take your time. So we're going to take our child's pose today with knees together, feet together. And if that means for you just elbows down, you might stack your fists, rest your forehead here. Let your tailbone tuck under towards your heels. Keeping elbows right in line with your shoulders. And there are some versions of child's pose where we're reaching forward. We're pulling our elbows up above our shoulders. For this one, keep your elbows down and back so that your neck stays long. Shoulders are heavy away from your ears. We have 3 breaths here. Feel that expansion through your rib cage. Feel that pressure of your belly into your legs. And maybe a spread to your low back and your 2 pelvic halves. One more inhale. And exhale all the way out. And then come up to your hands. And from here, we're going to come to sit on our knees. And then tuck your toes under. And you can stay right here with your toes tucked under, or you can add some more weight of your body by sitting back to your heels. This can get intense, talking about sensation coming up from our yoga movements. This one can be kind of intense, so you can stay up here if you like. And take your arms wide, palms forward, and draw your belly in. Lift your chest up. And pull the bottom tips of your shoulder blades down towards your hips. You have a little back bend to the back of your heart. And take a deep breath in. On your exhale, wrap your arms around yourself. So you're giving yourself a nice big bear hug. Noticing which arm is on bottom right now. We're going to switch it. And inhale, open back up. We're here for 3 breaths. Nice and wide. Press the backs of your hands back. Pull your belly in. So if your tailbone is pointing back, tuck it nice and tight. 1 more inhale. Then exhale, wrap. Tuck your chin, let your upper back round. Inhale, open up. Belly stays tight, chest lifts. Exhale, big bear hug, wrap around. Inhale, open up, wide chest. Exhale, wrap. We have 1 more each side. Inhale, open up. Keep your chin slightly tucked, chest lifts towards your chin. Exhale, wrap. 1 more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, wrap and squeeze. Then inhale to your neutral spine. We're going to take hands down and we're going to unlock those toes. We'll give them a second to come back to softness. You might tap your toes out a little bit on your mat. And then feet and knees together, we're going to sit back to your heels. From here, take your right arm behind you, fingertips pointing away at about 45 degrees. Keep a nice straight arm. And take your left arm up, palm faces you. And so far, so good, right? Draw your navel in, and lift your chest up, press into your right hand. Reach your left arm back, as if you're trying to lengthen it away from your left knee. Belly is tight, especially if you feel this as a crunch through your low back. Keep your belly pulling in, chest up. You can stay right here to make this a little bit deeper. Start to lift your hips away from your heels. And press your left knee forward. Reach your left arm up and back. 2 more breaths here. 1 more inhale. And exhale, lower slow if your hips have lifted. Gonna come around to the other side. This is rock star pose. Left hand down, right arm up. Just setting this up first. Press into your left hand, let your chest lift. Reach your right arm back, palm facing you. And this might be enough, right? This is pretty intense already. Add a little bit more. Start to lift your hips up away from your heels. Right hip presses up and forward. One more inhale. Then exhale slowly down. We're going to take this movement in a slow flow. Right hand comes back behind you as you exhale. Then inhale, left arm up, maybe hips lift. Exhale, slowly lower. Left arm comes back around behind you. Right arm up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, slow. Hips down, right hand down. Left arm up. Inhale, lift. Chest, maybe hips. Exhale, slow. Left arm back, right arm up. Inhale. I'm going to take it one more time each side. Exhale, slow. Right arm down and back. Plant it, press and lift. And slowly down, left arm, last one. Inhale, lift. And slowly down. Come to find your neutral spine. Let your hands land to your lap. Starting to warm up now. From here, you're going to come up to your knees. And this is probably the most ninja-y thing we'll do today. I'm going to step your right foot forward. We're going to find 90 degrees in each foot. Did we get there? We got there. Good. 90 degrees in each foot. I'm going to take your left hand to your thigh. And this is where a blanket or something soft under your left knee will come in handy. I like to double mine up a little bit. So we're going to start with 90 in both legs. Hands to your right knee. From here, we're going to press your right knee forward in front of your toes. Here you might find your right heel starts to lift. We're going to go with it today and let your heel lift up. And then we're going to come back. We're going to do that a couple of times. We're focusing on the work of our ankle and our foot. So toes are straight forward. Knees are going right in line with second and third toe. And for most of us, we will find a spot where our heel will come up. If you have super flexy ankles, it might not happen. That's okay. Just letting it come forward and up. And noticing here if your toes want to turn out or in, if your knee wants to rock out or in. Keep everything to 12 o'clock. And one more time in flow, and then we're going to stay forward. We'll come forward and stay. If your heel's off the mat, that's okay. And let your heels sink down towards the mat. And see if you can find a bit of a stretch through your Achilles tendon, your calf. Just 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. Then inhale, come back up. We're going to go back to our knees so we can switch sides. So take your time. See if you can go no hands. Ready, your right knee down. I'm going to take the left side, left foot forward. Did we make it? This is starting with 90 degrees in both legs. Hands to your left thigh. Keeping left toes straight at 12 o'clock, guiding your knee over that second and third toe. We're going to come forward. Maybe your heel lifts. And a couple of times, just noticing that range of motion. And then where do you feel this sensation? Do you feel it as a pressure through the front of your ankle? Maybe the top of your foot? Do you feel it like a pull through the back of your ankle? Maybe a little bit of both. And what point does your heel want to lift off the mat? And this time you'll come down and stay. Just 3 breaths. Let your heel drop down. I know this is a lot of core work. We have 2 more breaths. 1 more round. Inhale. Stay, exhale. Then inhale, come up. We're going to switch sides again. See if we can go no hands. Find your balance. I'm going to take the left knee down. Right foot forward. That transition is definitely part of this flow. Now we're going to work on our back hip. So from here, I'm going to start to scoot your back knee back. As far as it will go, now we're maintaining right knee over right ankle. So as far as your left hip will allow. Let your upper body lean forward a little bit. We're going to go back to that forward and back. So coming up and out of your front knee, and then sinking forward, letting your left hip drop down. Inhale up and out, and I like to keep my upper body forward a little bit here so there's no crunching in my low back. Keep the front of your chest wide. Shoulders down away from your ears. It's so easy to get distracted by the moving parts. Still pay attention to the supporting parts. One more time, up and out of your left hip. And then we'll sink down and stay 3 breaths. Now tighten your left bum cheek. Hold it there. One more deep breath, left bum cheek tight. And inhale, come up. You can walk that foot forward a little bit so we can get that 90 degree in both legs. We're going to switch sides. Find your balance. Belly in, right knee down. Left foot forward. Now find your distance, front foot right underneath your knee. Back knee is back as far as it will go. Might not be too far this morning. But now we're focusing on that right hip. You come up and out. Exhale, sink down. Inhale up. Exhale, belly tight, drop low. Couple more rounds. Just testing into that right hip. And noticing here, if you're starting to hunch forward, keep your chest proud. You have one more round and then we'll stay. Now come up and out. Belly in, tailbone down, sink your hips. We're here for 3 breaths. Tighten your right bum cheek. Give it a squeeze, hold it there. Two more breaths. One more breath in. Squeeze your bum cheek, breathe out. And inhale, come back up. We're going to switch sides again. Take your left foot to a more manageable position, then the left knee down. Right foot forward. This might be getting more familiar now. Good. From here, I'm going to turn away from you guys. We're going to move into gate pose. I'm going to start by swinging your left foot back behind you. Okay, so right leg points up the front of your mat. Left leg is back behind you. So this is where you can stay if you like. If you want, you can walk your right foot forward until it's straight. Either toes up or foot flat. This is enough right here. You're going to take your left arm up, palm facing you, and then side bend. Draw your belly in. Keep both sides of your body long, right rib cage lifting away from your hip. And if you happen to be doing the other side, we'll get to the other one. You guys can just switch. Deep breath in. Empty. One more deep breath in. Reach your left hand up, belly in. Exhale. This time as you inhale, come up to center. We're going to turn back to the front of your mat. Let your left leg swing back to center. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot and come down to a low lunge. Here you'll step your back knee back as far as you like. If you have a block nearby, hands to a block can be nice. And take your right hand to your right thigh and then twist. And pull your right shoulder away from your ear. Draw your chest forward. One more breath in. And exhale, hands back to your mat. And start to walk your back knee forward, your front foot back, come back to your 90 degrees in both legs, then back up. We're going to switch sides again. Right knee down. Left forward up, left forward, left foot up. Good. Now all we're going to do is swing that right leg back behind you. So we'd have 90 still in both legs, but feet are pointing in different directions for gate pose. Now again, you can stay here or a leg can come straight. Take your right arm up, palm facing you. Lengthen both sides of your body, then side bend. This is another one of those deceptively hard poses. Lengthen up away from your right knee. Keep your tailbone pointing down. We have 3 more breaths. See if you can spread the right side of your body with your inhale. Right hip, right rib cage. Maybe under your right arm. 2 more. Last one, big inhale. Exhale all the way out. Belly stays in. Inhale, come back up to center. We're going to turn towards the front of your mat. Let your right leg swing back. And the hands will come down to the inside of your left foot. Walk yourself as wide as you go. Maybe take your block along with you. Keeping your right hand down, take your left hand to your left knee and twist. Don't take any rounding out of your back. It's very common in this posture to round towards your bent knee. It makes us feel like we're twisting a little deeper. Instead, lengthen away from your hip crease. Draw your heart forward towards the front of your mat. Two more breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, hands back to your mat or your book. On your inhale, come up. Last time, we're taking our knee to the mat. Find your balance. Knee down. This time, you're going to cross at your ankles. We're going to come down to sit bones. Hello, sit bones. From here, have your knees bent, feet planted. We're going to take your feet and knees together for this one. Take your hands to the back of your legs, right behind the creases of your hips. And pull your hands into your thighs, lift your chest up and lean back. As you're pulling your shoulder blades down towards your hips, letting your chest lift. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Draw your navel in. Deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to wrap your legs tighter, your arms tighter around your legs. So you're bringing the hands to opposite elbows, as close as they go. And then press your spine back. So it's a very similar feeling. You're pressing your weight into your arms, bringing your upper body back. But now you have a rounding through your spine. And let your chin drop to your chest. Keep pressing your spine back. On your inhale, draw your heart forward again, taking hands to the back of your knees. Now lift your chest, lean back. Squeeze your shoulders together, pull into your legs. Pull, pull, pull. And this should feel like some work. Deep breath right into the front of your heart, spread your chest. And again, exhale, wrap your arms deep around your knees. Press your spine back, drop your chin. Now your breath is going to the back side of your body. You have one more time to both of those. Inhale, lift your chest, bring your hands to your legs. Gonna lean back, pull into your legs. Inhale. Exhale, wrap your arms tightly. Press your spine back. inhale, come up, release your legs, walk your legs forward. And then here, I like to press down into my mat, lift my hips. I give them a little shake back so that I'm finding the sit bones. And sit tall through your body, flex your toes towards you, micro bending your knees. Take your arms out wide and up overhead, inhale. On your exhale, hinge forward and then round down. Then again, arms wide out to the side, inhale, come up to seated. Exhale, arms forward, hinge, and then round. A couple more rounds like that. Wide arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, hinge, round. 2 more. Inhale, come up wide chest as your arms reach out. Exhale, keep your chest wide as you hinge, round down. We have 1 more. Then we'll stay. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge and round. This time, stay here. You can tuck your hands underneath your calf muscles or your thighs, but keep your elbows back, just like we were doing that child's pose earlier. Instead of reaching forward towards your feet, which generally causes shoulders to get a little crunchy, keep your arms back. Keep your elbows just behind your shoulders. Take 2 more breaths. And stay here 1 more round, long neck. And inhale, come up. From here, we're going to slowly lower all the way down to your back. As slow as you go, you might take the backs of your knees down. Once you land to your mat, take reclined pigeon. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. This might be where you stay. Even if you don't feel that intense sensation from anywhere in your body, this might be you finding your range of motion right here. If you want to take it a little bit deeper, maybe you catch the back of your left hamstring, or the front of your left shin. But notice what's happening through your neck. Can you keep the back of your neck long, chin slightly tucked in? Can you keep your low back in neutral? Or does grabbing your leg lift your hips a little? Keep your spine tractioning out so that you're finding the range of motion through your right leg without compromising the alignment of your hips and spine. One more breath. Exhale, unwind your legs. And cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Recline pigeon on the other side. a couple more breaths. And check in with your spine all the way from the base of your skull to the tip of your tailbone. One more inhale. On your exhale, unwind your legs, draw your knees to your chest. And keep your right leg in, bring your left leg long on your mat. From here, twist, take your right leg across and scoot so that you're on the outside of your left hip. And a good place for your right foot to rest is just around the crook of your left knee. Letting it rest to your knee joint, and so that your leg bone stays in neutral. Isn't too heavy. On an inhale, roll back to center. Let your hips level, draw your knees to your chest. We'll take the other side. Keep your left knee in, send your right leg out. As you twist across, lift and scoot your hips to the left. And see if you can let your foot rest to your right leg. Roll back to center. Level your hips, pull your knees to your chest. And this time, keep your feet together and pull your knees as wide as they go toward your underarms. Just a wide knees to chest. Couple of breaths here. If you like, you can take your hands to your ankles, keeping your feet together. Use your elbows to press your knees outward. One more inhale. As you exhale, knees together, take your legs long. Take Shavasana. And enjoy these couple breaths in quiet stillness. You're welcome to stay here for as long as your schedule allows. If you're ready for movement, we'll start with fingers and toes. I'm going to add the turn of your head side to side so that you have chin to shoulder, chin to shoulder. Then slide your feet in, roll over to your side. And press your hand down into the mat to come up to seated. And take your hands together at heart center. Raise your thumbs to forehead center. Namaste.